Yes, it is back. My Laguna Seca Blue M3, the car I bought from Copart. Sight unseen, just some terrible pictures and a questionable history. It is finally back in my possession. I got it back from the body shop for its second round of work that was done there. First time I had them hanging up, they put an upper fender rail on the passenger side, passenger fender. They painted that and aligned everything. And then I put a core support, bumper support on it, bought a brand new bumper for it. So this time they painted the brand new bumper and kind of aligned everything in the front so that everything was how it was supposed to be. And they also did some floor repair. Turns out this car had some, I wouldn't call it extensive, but it had some floor damage that required me to jump through some ridiculous hoops to get the right part I needed. It caught something when it ran off the road and it tore a hole in the floor, which was right below the yaw sensor. It pulled the yaw sensor backwards and damaged the seat rail. I wanted to buy a brand new seat rail from BMW. The part only shows in real OEM for about 59 bucks, but it's in LA. So all the yards that I could find an E46 in, none of them had a coupe or sedan. They only had convertibles. I had a convertible on my lot, so that part is totally different. I ended up buying a complete 99 328 automatic, just a worn out 200,000 mile car that needed a bunch of work, and I cut the floor brace out of that and I parted the car out. So I had the part I needed. Well, the body shop installed that new floor brace. They did a great job. I'm going to show you what they've done, but I'm ready to get started on this thing and see this through to completion. It's almost ready to take those last final steps. Here is the finished product with the seat rail. And here is the floor repair on the driver's side. This car was hit, and there's actually a stud somewhere that's supposed to be here. It isn't here. I didn't want to replace the entire floor pan. I didn't think the damage was severe enough, but there was actually a tear that was probably about this long, only maybe a 1/4 inch wide at the widest, but it caught the bottom of the yaw sensor, caught that bracket and bent it backwards. And, I could have just kind of patched this up the wrong way, but I wanted to fix it as right as I could. It's still not like a brand new car, but it is repaired. It's not going to leak. It won't cause any issues. They replaced that seat rail so the yaw sensor is properly mounted, and I don't have any qualms with the way that this was repaired. I've done some work on the bottom side of this car. This car needed work literally everywhere, on every square inch. These shields for the gas tank, those were completely missing when I bought this car. They're just gone. Well, this one was half torn. It's kind of there. This brace wasn't here, so I had to find this and these shields secondhand from another M3. I also had to install a parking brake cable on the passenger rear. It just wasn't there. While I was in here, I also replaced the suspension. I bought Coney Yellows and Ibach Springs from another local M3 owner that went to coilovers. They don't have a lot of miles on them, and this was actually the suspension I wanted for this car when I first bought it, so I got really lucky on that. But there's still a ton of work to do. Well, for starters, I am missing this lower shield here, which isn't terribly expensive for a new one, but there's some improper mounting going on here. There's a zip tie holding this together. But the big issue up front is that the oil pan touches the sway bar when there's no weight on the vehicle. And when you put the vehicle under its own weight, the sway bar swings inside its brackets and no longer touches the oil pan. And that would normally not be an issue, except for it's not supposed to touch with the wheels in the air. And the reason that happens is because the motor mounts are collapsed. So when I do rod bearings, I'm going to do new motor mounts. It just keeps getting pricier, but I signed up for this. I've done a bit of work inside here as well. I started changing the trim over from the painted gray trim, which is like the standard base trim, to the Titan silver trim, which is like kind of a brushed chrome. And I've got the dash done, the driver's side door done, and when I pulled the door panel off, I realized that the speaker is bad. I'm assuming the other side is going to be bad as well. So before I complete the trim set, I'm going to try to locate a set of good factory speakers, if such a thing exists. Still lots of other things I'd like to do in here. The steering wheel is kind of worn here, which is pretty typical for these. And there's just a lot of missing stuff. There's some holes drilled in the pedals. I'm assuming it had some racing pedals at some point. I don't understand that. But there's some wear here and there that I'd like to address. For the most part, though, the interior is pretty nice, and I'm pretty happy with it. I also had a pretty funny issue with the shifter. The problem with my shifter That's not how that's supposed to work. having all these extra parts around here really does benefit. Everybody makes fun of me for keeping parts off of cars they don't own anymore, and turns out I had an extra shifter for a BMW. Granted, I still have like 8, but I had an extra shifter for it. I was able to put it back together. I had the cup, all the pieces I need. So this repair cost me nothing, just my time. That's one of the few repairs that cost me nothing on this car. Now, before I address the fact that this car looks done, keep in mind I said looks done, I want to talk about the bumper support. So this is the original bumper support off the car. It had some pretty severe damage on the right side, as you can see. And I think you guys remember in one of the earlier parts that I bought a front bumper cover, I bought a bumper support and a core support from a guy that parts out BMWs in one of the Carolinas. And the bumper ended up being not really what I wanted. It needed a lot of work to be paintable, and I mean, it's a usable component, but it's not as nice as I had wanted. I wanted a nice paintable one that didn't need any work. Well, I ended up not being able to use that. Well, it turns out that the bumper support he sent me was also bad. It was cracked and broken, even though I explicitly asked him, hey, does that have any cracks in it? And he said, no, it's fine. And it wasn't fine. In fact, I couldn't even get the metal plate off of this side like I could on this one, because it looked like he stored it in the creek behind his house. It's a pretty bad deal, and actually, I messaged him about it, and I keep in mind it had been a year since I bought parts from him, so I wasn't expecting any money. I wasn't looking for a refund. I just wanted to let him know, hey, you missed a couple things on this thing. I have customers that do that, and if I miss something, I'd like to know it so I can check it out the next time. I like to learn from my mistakes. Well, I brought it to his attention, and his knee-jerk reaction was, well, you got a really good deal on those parts. Really? That's your rebuttal? That it was a good deal? But really, was it a good deal if I couldn't use them? Anyway, I can't explain how good it feels to be able to look at this car with a front bumper on it. It's just so much time, so much effort just to get to this point. And I'm not going to say I'm done. I think I said multiple times in this video, I'm not done. There's still a lot to be done. But it took 2 hours to get this front bumper on here. And it should just snap right on. In my head, it should just pop right on. But that's not how that works on these bumpers. No, it's like you push this side in, that side pops out. You push that side in, this side pops out. You push it in the middle, both sides pop out. There's no winning. It took a lot of time, a lot of massaging, and it could be that the car still is slightly tweaked. It could be that the bumper support has some flaws in it that I can't see, or maybe that the bumper sat in a position for a long time before I got it, before there was paint laid on it, and it doesn't want to adhere to the car. All of those are likely scenarios, but it's together. It's going to have to come back apart because there's still some things I don't like about the alignment of things. It's still not perfect, and I'll probably go crazy trying to make it perfect, but this is so good to see. I can finish things, even though this one's not done. I want to point out this one's not done. I also have considerable amounts of time in the headlights, and it really wasn't terrible. It was all really easy work. But if you remember, this headlight was broken. It had 2 or 3 broken tabs on it, and the housing was cracked, but it had a good lens. And that side headlight was actually good. However, the previous owner, or a previous owner of this car, decided to spray paint the inside, especially like the high beam, black. Anyway, no words for that. I ended up finding a set of kind of foggy headlights. The lenses were kind of messed up on eBay for like $200 shipped. It's a really good deal, but the headlights were pretty rough. So I swapped the lenses over. This side was really easy. These headlights are not glued together as such. You can replace a lens if you need to. These are like very modular headlights. I really enjoy the fact that they did this. Now the driver's side was a little different. The driver's side, the M3 and the non-M3 E46 Coupe, the pre-facelift cars, have the same headlight itself, but the harness, the internal harness is different because the ballast is mounted on the fender apron or on an M3, and it's on the bottom of the headlight on a non-M car. And I wanted it to be right. I don't want to have the ballast in the wrong spot, so I gutted the headlight, which took a lot of time and a lot of precision, but I ended up building a pair of headlights for $200. I mean, you can't really go wrong there. These headlights normally sell for much more than that. I know I said I wasn't ready to drive this car just yet. There's a laundry list of things I need to do before I can daily drive this car. I mean, and it keeps growing every time I look at it. But I haven't driven it at all. I've actually put 1.3 miles on it from my lower driveway to my upper driveway and back, which is not that far apart. Maybe like a few hundred feet. So You guys are going to come with me for the initial shakedown. I'm not taking on the highway. I'm not doing anything crazy. No donuts or burnouts or anything crazy yet. We're just going to take it around the neighborhood and see what else I need to replace and spend my time and money on. I'm sure that list is going to get longer, but there's always a first drive for a project, and you guys are going to come with. Here goes nothing. Every year is there, so only one left to go. That's a good sign. Now there's no small list of things that I'd like to do to this car. Not talking about modifications. I'm not really intending on modifying this car or doing anything too crazy with it. I mean, I might put an intake or an airbox on it, but I really want to enjoy this car for what it is. I always wanted a Laguna Seca car, and I jumped at this chance to buy this basket case, and it's slightly less of a basket case now. I didn't think I'd be able to drive it, at least ever. It didn't feel like I'd be able to. Just all I could do is work. Feed it parts. Suspension's a little noisy. I don't know if I left something loose in the front or if I left something loose in the front, but it sounds like I left something loose in the front. Shook it down pretty good though. Turn signal's got to be the top of the list to fix. Oof. Everyone's pretty good. Oh man, the front. I don't know if it's got a bad ball joint. Maybe it's a loose sway bar end link that just I couldn't tell with it, you know, unloaded. Something wants to come in or come out because it's knocking pretty good. Oh, this turn signal. BMW's never had that problem. I think every BMW I've ever had, I've had to replace the center support bearing, maybe except for my E61. And that's just because that car doesn't even have 100,000 miles on it yet. I'm also feeling a lot more vibration. This car has like Condor speed or something, trans mounts in it, and then those collapsed front mounts. I think all that together makes it feel like there's something wrong when maybe there's just something a little less wrong. Let's take this turn pretty hard and see what happens here. That is fun. Above all else, the big thing I wanted about this car, the big reason I wanted this car is that I have something I can take to Cars and Coffee. It has a back seat so I can take my son. And I mean, I normally take my Lotus to Cars and Coffee, or my Lotus, it's always the car I take. And not that this is as cool as that is or as fun to drive, but this is still pretty cool to me, and it is very fun to drive. And my kid fits in it. Small sacrifices, really. It's not really even a sacrifice. It's worth it to me. flip it out a little bit. Oof, God, that suspension. Oh, the sounds. Well, we made it. It did it under its own power. No tow trucks or trailers needed. And I can't say that about all of my project cars. There's definitely been some where the first test drive was a test fail. But not this time. This time, it was good. I am absolutely elated at how this turned out. I mean, it has been so long since I bought this car that I almost thought I wasn't going to be able to drive it. But to be able to drive it after that amount of time without parts falling off of it and without new warning lights or new noises, I mean, sure, there's a couple things that need to be addressed, but I don't think it's going to be anything major. I still have a lot of work to do. I can't drive it on a regular basis. I've got to do rod bearings, and I'm going to do go through the vanos system, replace all of the normal wear items. I've got to do a valve adjustment, and those are not small jobs. I mean, they're not terrible, but it's going to be a solid weekend plus of work for me. And then I still have all the missing plastic pieces underneath the engine, and then if I want to go crazy, I've got some more body work I could do and have the paint corrected, get the tint out of it. It's still a project, and it will always be a project, but it's my project, and I'm happy I bought it. I mean, to get to this point, it took a little over a year, and I have just over 16 grand in the car, which compared to how the market's doing on these cars, I think that's pretty good, but I still have, don't you think about it. Hey, I know what you want to do. No, Stell, you know better than that. Anyway, I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. I know the teardowns are what everybody wants to watch, but I like my car stuff as well, and I will catch you on the next update.